Hello. Welcome to all three of you. Welcome, Patty. Nice to see you, Patty. Perhaps we could just chat amongst ourselves until people wake up. It seems like the fine folks at YouTubia have once again failed absolutely and completely to put forward any kind of forewarning to you fine folks that I'm going to be here. Sad, really. Anyway, six people are here. Impressive. Do let me know, please, that the audio is of a quality that you would expect. The reason I'm asking is because I have this week had to move my recording and live streaming studio into another room. And as such, this room has not been sound treated. It is open to the elements a bit. It's actually a metal box built inside a containery thing outside the house. For you see, we've had to accommodate more people in the house than usual. Anywho, that's what's happening. And I'm using an AI filter to remove the background noise, etc. So, you can hear some motor. There seems to be a background hiss. Okay, let me see if I can crank up the strength of this thing a bit. Okay, if I turn it up to maximum, did that make any difference? Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Buckle my jolly shoe or something. The hiss, what you can actually probably hear is cicadas, which are quite a bit like grasshoppers. And they live in the trees, and they go all day during the summer here. The hiss is now gone. We're good. There you go. I just needed to crank up the strength. There it is. But it's really quite loud here. Anyways, enough complaining about noise and things. Now that we've sorted that out. You know how it goes. You put a large Q in front of your questions. Not 3 Qs, not 5 Qs, not 2 Qs, 1 Q. Followed by a colon, then type your question in full. Don't forget capitalization and punctuation, it's quite handy. English is the preferred means of communication in writing here, at least. Suffix the whole thing with a question mark, and that way, His Majesty Lord Edward Yellow, King of the Bears, hello, will be able to, yes, you go and twiddle the knobs, good boy, will be able to find said questions and answer said questions would be the name of the game. But before we get into questions, let's see who's in the house. Patty's here, good to see you. Patty was first. Oh, sad day too, by the way. The co-creator of Red Dwarf has died. Also, Neil Sedaka has died as well. Okay, anyway, that's the bad news for the day. Let's get on with the good news. The Mandalorian is here. Join me. I will complete your training, something dark side, something complete. Hello, the Meat Militia. Hello to Carnivore Invictus. Very nice to see you. Zeus is here. Very good. John James, good to see you in the house. You just got the notice. Yes, I know. YouTubia is a bit me on that kind of thing. There you go. Patty just happened to see it. She didn't even get a message saying that bad bald man's online again and stuff. Anyway, there it is. You hear us well. Good. Welcome, Chalksaldi 8103. Nice to see you. Hello all. Yes. Good sir. That would be this guy. Hello. I'm the good one. Get on with the knob twiddling, Ted. Goodness. All right. Right. At least try and put him in his box. Who needs him in his box? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yep. Okay. Just reading through the comments about the audio, which I asked for. There it is. Da-da-da. Very good. Perfect. Are grasshoppers fatty meat? No, I don't think they are particularly fatty, these cicadas. They're about an inch long or so. They've got, obviously, an exoskeleton, being insectoids, which is chitinous and therefore not good for humans. I wouldn't eat them perfectly. That's just my little adage, my little homage, I should say, to Red Dwarf. Okay. You have cicadas in Tennessee as well, Paddy? Oh, there you go. There it is. Working again, question mark. Yes, I'm working, if that's what you mean, Stephen. Those that want to see some more unacceptable views between myself and Coach Stephen should probably tune in a few days' time. It's scheduled on the channel. It'll be, the usual live rambunctious carry-on featuring Coach Stephen, myself, and this guy. Hello! Oh, God, Ted. He thinks he's getting paid per the performance, as in when every time he pops up it's a new performance and he sends me another bill. It's incredible. Incredible. Speaking of bills, by the way, it looks just a bit like there's a bit of a... It's not major, but there's a decline in the number of you who are taking my advice to avail yourself of Stem Enhance Ultra, Sciactive and Plasma Flow, available from the Cerule company, either from myself or from Coach Stephen, if you like, or any number of other people that are joint ventured with us that are helping to market this absolutely fantastic product. It is a stem cell release agent. That's Stem Enhance Ultra, obviously. Sciactive is an anti-inflammatory which works on both LOX and COX pathways. Does that without the same side effects that the pharmaceutical versions generally come with. And Plasma Flow is a blood flow agent which clears fibrin deposits from the microvasculature, allowing stem cells, etc., to get to where they need to be. It's like the holy triumvirate, if you like, of nutraceutical health-promoting products. I strongly, strongly recommend that everybody over the age of about 18 takes this product daily. And if you are 18 and fit and well and otherwise completely without any signs of health problems, I think you still should, because how long would you like that to continue? The thing is, as we age, our stem cell system winds down. It's encoded for in our genes. It's supposed to happen eventually. It's one of the reasons that we eventually become decrepit and die. What we're really suggesting with this product is that's a good way to potentially have some effect on some of those outcomes. We can't make any specific claims about any specific outcomes, mind, because that's against company rules. Nonetheless, the stuff is what it says it is. It does what it says it does. And you should all be on it. So while I'm saying I want you all on it, here's something I don't say enough, and I think I'll say it today because, well, why not? We've got time. Here it is. While I want every single one of you taking Cerule products every single day, what I do not want is for any of you to be paying for that. Okay, so it's not about wanting my commission off you, because it's 2 6 per bottle. Frankly, it's not going to change my life. It will change yours, but not mine. All of you put together, working together, will help a great deal in terms of changing Ted's life. He's very expensive in his tastes, is Ted. Expensive to feed, expensive for his psychological treatment that he requires, for having to put up with me, But yes, I want you to be getting Cerule products for free, every one of you. How do you do that? You join Cerule as an IBO rather than as a customer. We love customers. We'll take you as a customer. If you want to pay for your product, that's fine. We love that. But that's not in your best interests. In your best interests is to join Cerule as an IBO, and what you do is you put your wellness pack of those 3 products on subscribe and save on a monthly basis. Then what you do is you take the products and you find out how good they are, because you will, and then you'll start screaming that from the rooftops, and at some point there'll be 3 people that will say to you, you know what, I'd quite like those products too, where can I get them from? And then you say to them, well, you've got 2 choices, you can pay for them, in which case you can be a customer, and we love customers, and then you set them up on a retail wellness pack on subscribe and save. When you've got 3 of those that you've personally introduced, the company will not charge you for yours anymore. It's free. So there you go. I want you on the product, but I want you not paying for it. Clear? Right, that's the bills paid for the day. Now let's get on with something a bit more Quiction-like. But first of all, let's get to some questions. Right. Can I talk about TMAO a little? Yes! Yes, I can. You bet. TMAO stands for trimethylamine oxide. It is an oxidized version of a metabolite which your body can make under the influence of several amino acids that are richly found in meat, especially red meat, and eggs. And so what the veg-tarded will tell us, those from the Church of Anorexia Vegana, what they will tell us is, ergo, if there is some trimethylamine which is generated when you consume red meat and eggs, that's a bad thing because that's pro-inflammatory, and in a test tube it's also associated with carcinogenesis, the creation of cancer, and a bunch of other things. Not good is TMAO, ergo neither is red meat and eggs. So what's that bad bald man from New Zealand talking about? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Obviously. Well, here's the problem. The only way that you can get a person to generate much TMAO is by suddenly changing their diet from a standard Western or standard American diet overnight across to a diet that's rich in meat and eggs and poor in everything else. The microbiome is not adapted to it. It's not ready for it. You don't have the right speciations of little greebly bugs living with you in your digestive tract. And as such, you will create an amount of TMAO, and that obviously proves the point that these veg-tarded vagoons from the Church of Anorexia Vegana are saying, and that proves me absolutely wrong, and so I should shut down my channel and stop giving people misinformation, shouldn't I? Except here's the deal. A person that's been consuming a diet rich in meats, eggs, fats from animals, and poor in plants, for any reasonable period of time will find that they develop a microbiome which contains a large number of bacteria which break down TMAO to completely innocuous and non-problematic metabolites which are excreted and or used for other purposes by way of recycling and stuff. So TMAO is not an issue, not a problem for those eating a carnivore diet for any specific reasonable period of time. End of discussion. Sorry about that, veg-tards. There you go. Thanks for the question. Right. I is in the house. Good, Spectre. Good to see you. Mokuban, present. Yes. RM Guest is good. Good to see you, RM Guest. Good, good, good. TMAO, LMAO, yes. I did a video on that recently. You could look at that on my channel too, where I explain all of that in full. Question. We love questions here. That's why we're here, for questions. Should you use ice and heat on new joint muscle injuries when on carnivore, or does having a lower carnivorous inflammatory status mean your body doesn't require it? Okay, this one's interesting. Forever, the gold standard advice has always been that on muscle injuries, joint injuries, soft tissue injuries, the treatment has been RICE, RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. Okay? The idea being that we work against the swelling, etc., that's going to occur in a soft tissue injury. We work against the pain sensation because the icing reduces that, etc., etc., etc. Why, in a purple fit, would we work against what the body is trying to do to initiate that process of acute inflammation associated with that injury? That is precisely the thing that starts the healing process. Why would we want to work against that? Whether you are a carnivore or not, that is not good advice. The body undertakes the swelling, the pain, the inflammation, etc., for a reason. When you injure yourself, you should embrace that. Okay? There we go. Gold standard advice be damned. I should collab with Face IQ. I have said a dozen times or more, I'm open to that. I have sent the boy an email, or two even, to say I'm open to it. Crickets. Face IQ, hello. More than happy to collaborate with Face IQ. All right. Goodness. There we go. You was going to mention the chitin, but couldn't remember the term. Chitin. There it is. Yes. Carbonated water, good idea. Bad idea. Eddie Goki says bad for teeth. Okay, potentially bad for teeth, yes, because carbonated water is more acidic by virtue of being carbonated than standard water, and that may eat into the tooth enamel if you drink carbonated water a lot and don't clean your teeth immediately afterwards. So there's one point. Secondly, it does momentarily, briefly disturb the acidity levels in the stomach, so the stomach has to work over time a little bit to redress that and put it back again. Other than that, I don't think there's any major problem with it. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily guzzle litres of the stuff every day, but the occasional glass of something with carbonated water in it, or just carbonated water, I don't have a problem with that personally. Right. Yes. Yes, money penny. All right. There's some silica on them, if I could recall from memory. Grasshoppers. Silica? Is the silica a component of the chitin? It could be. $4.99 greenback. We love greenback dollars. They're good here. What is your opinion on raw milk as an adult if it is naturally fermented without the use of kefir grains? I don't have a problem with raw milk personally, whether it be fermented or otherwise. I've tried both. Neither have been associated with any apparent problems for me. Your mileage may vary. It's very much an individual thing as to how you individually react to dairy, whether that dairy be in its natural state or whether it be fermented. So that's very much an FAFO situation for the individual. Thank you for the $4.99. Rick, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Yes, it's quackers here in Pimbati as normal. There are ducks and chickens running around all over the lawn as we speak. Cows and sheep are being cows and sheep. Goats are being goats. People are being people. It's all on here. All on. Astraxanthin, I can never pronounce that. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant which has been touted to also have anti-inflammatory effects. You'll find some of it in some food-related items. Is it necessary? No. Should there be a recommended dietary intake of that? No. Everything you need as a human being you will find in the meat of large ruminant animals and the associated fat there too. You don't even need to eat organs, other than muscles, which are an organ, of course. Okay? There is no expected deficiency that a human being can expect to experience on a carnivore diet consisting purely of the muscle meat of large ruminant animals, mostly, say 80%, and the associated fat. Everything else, the other 20%, chicken, fish, pork, whatever. Okay? All right. Howdy doody, Josephine Cowley 44. Good to see you in the house. Very good to see you. Welcome to the show. Could you make videos responding to other videos by YouTube creators? No, I've never done that before in my life. Are you new here? Kind of a shorter format of videos with good information responding to them. I could do shorter form videos. However, I'm a bit adverse to it because what I want to do is give the person to whom I'm responding or the person that I'm critiquing or abusing or whatever, I want to give them the respect, even though they don't necessarily deserve much respect, of you guys hearing every word they said in their video, so that I'm not accused of cutting other people's videos up and using bits of their videos out of context, because people do that to me and it pisses me off. So what I do is I start at the beginning, press play, I pause every time I feel like it, which is often, and say, no, wrong, here's why, blah, 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 finished. Then we hear the next little two or three words from the person I'm critiquing. No, wrong again, blah, 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 blah. It's just the way I do things. It's hardwired. I'm a little bit autistic. Deal with it. I even had an editor for a while to make shorter form videos out of my longer form videos. Two things. One, I'm also a control freak, so that was difficult for me. And, even mild things that were annoying to me. And two, it cost money. And, money makes the world go round and such, but it's limited. We all have a limit to our abilities in terms of financially, don't we? Right. Is cereal any good for non-SSAD species-specific appropriate diet? It's hard to convince old folks to do the species-appropriate diet. Absolutely, it works the same way, irrespective of your diet. Cereal products are not really to do with diet. They're not to do with nutrition. They are nutraceutical products that have a specific, predictable effect on the human body, pretty much irrespective of how that human decides to feed that body. Okay? Yes, they absolutely are. Fantastic for everybody. And as I said, absolutely everybody should be on that product daily. Nobody should be paying for it unless they really want to, because they don't want to be involved in that thing. In which case, we'll take your money. Of course we will. Right. Except being autistic, what do you do to develop your intellect and stay mentally sharp? Stay mentally sharp. Am I mentally sharp still, folks, or am I losing my powers? Are my powers weak, old man? Something complete. How do I stay sharp? I stay sharp by doing as much as I can around doing response videos to people who are not so sharp. I do as much reading as I can in the developing peer-reviewed literature, which is limited by the fact that I'm also trying to do 2 or 3 other things with my life, like run a farm. Be a farmer, they said. It'll be awesome. It has been awesome, but it's been a learning curve, and we've had a lot of disasters and things go wrong and all sorts. And it's been, thus far, it's been a financial drain. Not even like a neutral situation. It's just been money out to get the place under control. I say under control. There's no getting it under control. It's getting as close as you can. And that's taken a lot of time and effort and energy, etc. We've had a situation where we've decided to support some extra family members who needed some extra support by way of having them live and work here on the farm rather than doing what they were doing out there in the Brand X world for whatever reason. And we've had one of those family members have a serious medical problem which has ongoing ramifications as well in terms of the support that she needs and the things that we have to put in place for her, etc., 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 and the fact that we need to replace some of the workload that she was doing as well. So there's been that. That keeps me sharp and on my toes. What else? I have weekly discussions with smart and intelligent people like Coach Stephen. Tomorrow I'm going to do another Q&A session with young Lisa. She'll keep us on our toes. She's not even left high school yet. And she's already, I think, more clued up on human health and nutrition than many PhD qualified people. So we'll see how she goes tomorrow. I've got full confidence in her that she'll be great. Don't miss that, by the way. That'll be a good show to see. And also, weekly meetings with Ted, having a discussion about things. Ted's pretty sharp. He keeps me on my toes. So there it is. Patty says, you wouldn't want to eat cicadas. No. They're decidedly unlike grasshoppers or locusts. Are they? Cicadas are better consumed in the grub. Okay, right, grub orb. Yeah, not for me still. I will not eat the bugs. No, I will not eat the bugs. Right, question. Hope all is well. It's as well as it can be at the moment, and we hope it gets better ongoingly. Of course, we always do hope that, but we're grateful for what we have, of course. Heard you say in the past that the ideal fat to protein ratio for most is 66.6% fat and 33.3% protein. Not really. That's not really a suggestion I've ever made. I've just kind of said, well, that's where it usually works out for most people. What I actually said is that it's an FAFO situation where people will get the balance right for them individually through trial and error a little bit. Is that in grams? No. No, it's not. Because what that really refers to is the energetic component. So that's going to be closer to 50-50. But there it is. Right. Dealing with psoriasis. Okay. 5 health hacks. There's a video on my channel. It's a 5-minute video, or there's a longer version of it there as well, I think. 5 health hacks every human being should undertake. I think you'll find that will have quite some impact on your psoriasis situation. If you follow all 5, none of them are negotiable, sadly. I wish they were. But the reason they're on my list of 5 is because, well, number one, I think everyone can handle 5 things in their life that they need to take care of, rather than 6 or 17 or 105, just 5. These are my top 5 most important because, on average, for the average person, most of the time, they're the ones that are the most effective thing. So, go and do all of those 5 things. And yes, stick with the red meat in terms of the diet, yes. Red meat and associated fat. Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with chicken, fish, whatever, now and then. But you don't base your diet on that unless you can't eat red meat for some crazy reason. Right. Question. Are we genetically programmed to die by positive or negative pressure? Is that beneficial to species for who died young, or would it be the opposite? I'm going to have to guess a bit as to exactly what your question is there, because the wording is a bit, yeah. Yes. Why is it handy for people to die? Well, because if people didn't die, then the world would become overcrowded with our species very, very quickly. It's the thing that allows natural selection pressure. It's the thing that allows evolution to continue, that an animal, any given animal, including a human being, has a set lifespan, and then they pass on, leaving space in the world for new generations. That's just the way it is. That's the great plan. I didn't put it in place. That's just the way it is. Do you think there's a difference between A1 and A2 milk? Yes, I know there is. It's a different makeup in terms of the things that are likely or less likely to be problematic in terms of allergic reactions that people can have, either mild or severe. Really? Yes, they're formulated differently. They have different genetics. They're from different lines. If A1 is a problem for you, then seek out A2 and see if you can get away with that. If you decide that having dairy in your life is something that you need. It's not. But it's a valid option. Okay. Question. Here it is. If we're going to go by feeling instead of blood tests, and we feel symptoms like low energy, not losing weight, you mean fat, and not that sort of weight, anyway, even on a lion diet, how do we know that what the actual issue is? I take iodine supplements. God, you're all over the place, aren't you? Goodness gracious. Okay. Yes, I'm an advocate for going by how you feel. If you have a lack of energy problem, it's quite likely that in a one-on-one discussion with me over an hour or so, we could probably get to the bottom of it and lead you to something that's likely to be handy. But what I would say to you for free right here and right now is 5 health hacks would be a good place to start. Go and watch that film and do all 5 of those things for 6 months. See how you feel. The other thing I suggest to people is, for goodness sake, stop listening to all the different influences out there. Because we're a dime a dozen, aren't we? Influencers. Pick one that you trust. Pick one that's credible. It's me, by the way. I'm the science. I'm safe and effective. Trust me. Don't question the science. Stop listening to everybody else. I'm the authority here. Me. Well, Ted is. Yes. Okay? Look, not everybody's opinion is worth hearing. There are less than a handful of other influencers out there who I would say to a person, look, if you can't get on with me, if you don't want to listen to me, here are some other people you can listen to that would be nearly as good. Very few. All right, listening widely to people is not, be a bit more discerning. is what I would suggest. Juliet, we love us some Juliet, don't we? Yes, we do. Thank you for the $4.99. Very good. For some reason, I've been feeling good drinking a glass of goat milk every day lately. Yeah, I love goat milk too. It's good. Weird, because I've never been much of a milk drinker. There you go. Well, I would suggest if you feel good and your body composition's stable and your energy stable and your performance stable and everything's good, that would be something that you don't need to fix. How's that? Love it. Thanks you for the $4.99. Yes, don't forget the thumbs up. That's for free. You can do that right now if you haven't already. Do the thumbs up thing on the video. Also, after the live stream is finished and it becomes a pre-recorded video, go and make a comment underneath that video. Al Gore loves that. It's really good for his rhythms. And we want to support Al Gore and his rhythms, don't we? That way, hopefully, I get a bit more visibility than what I get through normal situations. Because, well, you know how it is. Al Gore doesn't like me so much. His rhythms seem to be out of whack with mine. All right. Mr. Beaumont says, question. If stem-enhanced capsules have an adult stem cell release peak, which they do, is it optimal to be grounded during this period so that your lowered blood viscosity aids the signaling delivery of these cells? Yes, I would suggest so. Good thought. Absolutely, I would say that's probably a good thing. You're welcome for the info. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. You guys can help me in return, either financially if you're able to, directly, as some of the people are doing with Super Chats. That's always appreciated. By liking, it's free. By commenting, that's free. By watching the video several times, that's free. By sharing it on your social media feeds to others, that's also free. You can support your own health, vitality, potential for goodness of all sorts of things by going to the Cerule link, which is bkaynutrition.cerule.com, and ordering up your wellness pack of Stem Enhance, Cyactive, and Plasma Flow, and finding 3 customers, because you're going to obviously join as an IBO, and finding 3 customers of your own that you can set up on a wellness pack that want to pay for it and don't want to be in that thing. Good for them. We love people like that, don't we? And then when you've got 3 of them, not 5, 3, Ted, yes, 3, yours is free. Not a penny. Isn't that awesome? Cool, yes, do hit the like button. Love your channel, sir. Thank you. Love you too. There's nothing you can do about it. Is it true that post-workout carbs is bad for protein synthesis? I've never seen any evidence that it is necessarily bad for anything or good for anything. Actually, it's not required. It's not necessary. Your body makes all the carbohydrate that is required through gluconeogenesis, even if you are an athlete. No, you don't need to take carbs in to perform well as an athlete. So long as you are fat adapted, you'll do fine. Of course, if you are a carb adapted athlete and you suddenly drop the carbs out, well, yes, your performance will suffer for a period of time until you get past that trough and your body gets used to what you're now doing and gets better at doing that. I have many clients who are professional, semi-professional athletes and those in physically demanding occupations who I talk to about this, who do go through a small performance trough in return for actually a performance increase that they get from getting carbs out of their lives, believe it or not. And I don't care if it's not, it's a fact. We only deal with the facts here, don't we, Ted? Yes! Thank you, Ted, for your input. Now I've got to pay him another appearance fee. Goodness. How long does it take to resolve dry mouth issues? Depends on the cause of them. I've been drinking 2+ liters of water a day for 2.5 months now, alongside just meat, mostly roasted 60-40 beef, and some poor man's steaks. Okay, well, there could be all sorts of things going on there. It sounds like you need to do a consult with me, which you can organise by going to bit.ly/Bart-Kay, and you'll find a link on that page to my Patreon subscription site where you can sort out twice monthly consults with me by subscription. Cancel anytime you feel like you're finished, even if that's just like for a one-off session. So you pay for the month, get your consultancy, and then cancel it straight away if you want to. Or if you think it's something we need to talk about more than once for a longer period of time, then you can stay on board a bit longer. It's no skin off my nose, and Ted doesn't care either. Right, yes, just do hit the like button. Yeah, very good. And also, yes, if you don't have that bell icon selected, do that, because then what happens is YouTube completely fails to pay any attention to that bell icon whatsoever, and they won't notify you anyway, sometimes, mostly, a lot. But nonetheless, let's play their game. Then at least they can't say, well, you don't have many people with a bell icon, because we do. So don't give them that excuse. Hit the bell icon. Thank you. Correction. My husband has been a carnivore for 3 years. That's good. He also takes the raw daily. That's even better. His PSA is 6.8. Okay. Is there any way that a high-protein diet could be causing this elevation? Causing might be too strong a word. There are some associative factors that might be an issue there. I would probably go and put that in front of an oncologist, frankly, and let them have a look, do an assessment. They'll tell you if there's anything nefarious going on or not, and if there is, let me know, and I will give you my opinion on what I would do in that situation were it me, which won't be in line with what the oncologist would tell you. I'm just saying, go to the oncologist to get any diagnosis of any issue, but in terms of what you would then do about it, if there is an issue, I would suggest probably come and talk to me, and I'll give you an opinion. I won't give you medical advice, of course. I will give you an opinion. Yes, there it is. Right. Bought a grounding sheet from Grounded Kiwi. Good. Cheers. You're welcome. Sleep has been great. Yes. How credible are studies with respect to grounding? There's a bunch of pilot studies available. I think there's a 5 minutes or less video on my channel called Electrical Grounding or Earthing, What You Need to Know, or something like that. And I think there's about 19 different pilot studies that I splash up on the screen in 5 minutes, Mike the Vegan style. Look, here's one and here's another one. Look, here's another one over here. And you can go and read all those studies for yourself if you like. They're all small-scale pilot studies, but they all have very interesting outcomes. It seems pretty credible to me, and it makes sense from a first principles point of view as to why it would be a good thing for a person, any given person, to do. So I myself ground every night. My bed is grounded, and I swear by it. I just got my mum doing it while she was here for a bit, helping out with some of the issues around, caring for family members that need it and stuff. And she swears by it too now. So, there it is. Yeah, definitely I'm on board with the grounding. It's one of my 5 things on the 5 health hacks. It's there for a reason. Okay, there you go. I am late. Do I need to report to Ted and all the buckets? Yes. Yes, report to me after class. Down the back, by the bucket of soapy frogs. Yes. Right, I'm going to go and twiddle the knobs. Bye. I can't do a thing with him. I really can't. Yes, Ted does like to dish out the, doesn't he? Yes, somebody has to. All right, question about eye floaters and similar ocular stuff. Can Sorrel potentially help? Yes, although we're not allowed to claim it will. What would be a minimal optimal daily dose? Well, in terms of whatever your issue on Sorrel, 2 capsules once or twice a day is the label stipulated suggested intake. That is a maintenance level designed around the thought that it's likely to assist the body with renewal and repair to a level that will maintain status quo over time to some degree. What we have found, we have a mantra, those of us involved, that says, in terms of the Psyactive and the not the Plasma Flow, the Psyactive and the Stem Enhance, more is better. There seems to be a maximum effective dose beyond which there's no further physiological effect, and as such it's pointless. There's no known toxicity level in the stuff. In fact, the Sorrel product is 16 times less toxic in terms of the hepatotoxins thing than is the allowable limit for drinking water from a tap. Okay? So it's not a toxicity issue, but what we find is more than 16 Stem Enhance or Psyactive a day does not drive the physiological response still further. Okay, but up to 16 will give you increasing effect. So that would require you to get some for free, probably, for most people, because that would be quite expensive if you were paying for them. Which, once again, I don't think people should be paying for their Sorrel. You should be on it, you should be an IBO, and you should have 3 retail customers on a wellness pack, personally introduced. Ergo, yours is now free. Ongoing. This is not a special. This is not a for a limited time thing. This is company policy, ongoingly. Okay? Let's make them sorry that that's their company policy. They won't be sorry, by the way. The more of us that get on board with that, they will be thrilled to bits. Okay? Be on rule. Do not pay for it. It'll cost you $75 to be an IBO, but you'll get that back on your first order. Right. Right. Next question. Nah. Is there a better test for prostate health, other than DRE, which he had 7 months ago with no indication of enlargement? There are a number and range of tests, ranging from the basic test through to some direct measurements of levels of PSA and things, some blood tests, whatever else. They've even got some trained dogs these days that can sniff it out, believe it or not. Shop around, see what you can find out. It's not completely abnormal for a man of a certain age to have some elevation in their PSA, either short-term or a little bit ongoingly as well. It's not something that we need to worry about, but we just need to go and check that out, frankly, I think. Just the one Q, guitar guy Joe Fry, just the one Q here. I know Stephen likes 3 Qs. Just the one. Ted gets confused. Anyway, what is your question? Here it is. Do you suggest priming before a water fast or just a dry fast? It really depends on the person's situation, Joe, as to where they're at, what they're trying to achieve, why they're doing the fasting at all. It really does vary. I can't give you a straight answer on that. Okay? A bit more information would be good. Or indeed, you can sign up for consultancies if you want to. Right. Is it true that in order for butyrate to be utilized, it has to be enzymatically converted to beta-hydroxybutyrate? Yes. I.e., a ketone body. So when in the lumen space of your enteric system, in your alimentary canal, when 1 or 2 of the bacteria in there are able to ferment some of the non-digestible fibers that some human beings like to eat, that produces the short-chain fatty acid butyrate, and yes, that is absorbed into the cells, the enteric cells there, and yes, that is enzymatically transmuted into beta-hydroxybutyrate, i.e. a ketone body, before it can be used for various purposes in the cell. Yes, that is absolutely true. Hello, Angela. Good to see you. We love us some Angela up in here. It's all good. Right, next question. Why does the carnivore diet raise lipoprotein levels? Well, I know it doesn't matter, but what mechanisms signal the body to make more cholesterol? Okay. Number 1, cholesterol is not a lipoprotein. A lipoprotein is the carrier of cholesterol. The things that determine how much cholesterol the body will synthesize itself is the balance of how much cholesterol the body determines it needs at that time, minus the amount that you're taking in your diet. Pretty much. That's under the control of your genes. That's all good. Why does the carnivore diet raise the lipoprotein levels? Well, because generally a person eating a carnivore diet is consuming larger amounts of various lipids and other non-fat soluble items that need transporting around the body, like cholesterol, which is classed as a lipid, but it's actually an alcohol, a large molecular weight alcohol. So that's interesting, isn't it? But anyway, that's all under the control of your genes too. And the thing is, if you consume more lipids and other water-insoluble things that need transporting around the body, obviously you need more transporters to transport it. So your body goes, I need to make more. In the same way that when the population of people that need to drive around the place in vehicles increases in any given country, either the manufacture or import of vehicles to that country goes up commensurate, supply and demand. Okay? Jonathan, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well, or as well as you can be. I hope things are progressing for you. I haven't heard much from you lately, but I understand why. I've been pretty busy myself dealing with one or two things. Good to see you, though, mate. We love Jonathan up in here, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Hello, Kitty. Haven't seen you forever as well. Where have you been? Where have you been hiding? I only trust the words from Professor Bart and Uncle Harry when it comes to nutrition. Good-o. Good-o. Given your position on monetary decentralization, yep, how do you view centralized authority and monopoly on violence that states exercise? That one's a rich tapestry. I think there is a role for centralization of sufficient violence, power, control, fear to discourage the nefarious sections of society from exercising their nefarious ends. In other words, there has to be a police force, for example, to take care of the primary basic human rights that people have, i.e. that they should be able to live freely and without fear from violence from others, and that their property should be protected. So, yeah, there's no right answer really to that one, other than to spell out once again, I am a libertarian. I do believe in libertarian values, and as such, I think that government interference in our lives should be absolutely minimal, but not zero. Because if there was no government at all, then what we've got is anarchy. And when you've got anarchy, if you have anything to lose, someone will come and take it from you, because there's nothing to stop them doing that. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. Question, nah. I tried 100% carnivore for 4 months for Crohn's disease, but didn't feel any improvement in energy levels or bloating. Am I being impatient? Yes, you are. Absolutely. And the other thing I would suggest is that you should never change your diet from anything to anything else suddenly overnight. So if you did that, that wasn't the right approach. Always ramp your diet from one thing to the other thing slowly. If you're already and are still on a carnivore diet, you don't go back and try and fix that now, because that fork in the road's back there. We carry on the path we're on and we deal with the problems. If you do need help with that, consultancies are an issue, obviously, an option. bit.ly/Bart-KAY is where you get hold of me for that. And yes, 4 months is not long enough. Good question, thanks. Would you do a collab with Mary Ruddock? I have done in the past and would do again if she wanted me to, and whatever. Yes. I love Mary. She's awesome. Yeah. Teenager following a carnivore diet. Good for you. Would you advocate for potentially higher protein to fat ratio during growth? Instinct. Once you clear the hurdle of poisoning your instincts with contraindicated unnecessary toxic carbohydrate loading, your instincts for what you should eat and how much of it are generally very good. And that's what generally should guide you, I think. Right. Everyone needs to go to watch the Face IQ versus Vegan Gains debate that happened yesterday. Was it as good as my debate with Richard Burgess? My God, Vegan Gains was absolutely as I expected he would be. Hapless, hopeless, helpless, brainless, dripping with Dunning-Kruger, arrogant as all possibilities, but wrong about absolutely everything he had to say. Still, that's what you expect when a boy with a high school diploma, if he's even got one of those, thinks he's suddenly an expert in how to read the science. No, son. All right. How come Coach Stephen is doing more collabs with you now? Because he wants to and I want him to. And it's good for both of us. It's cross-pollination. I'm happy to collaborate with just about anybody, actually. And was it embarrassing? I'm not surprised, because he really is an absolute imbecile. Richard Burgess, aka Vegan Gains, would not know the difference between his elbow and his asshole if I labelled both and taught the boy how to read. Really is absolutely, singly without it, the first clue. Anyone that listens to Vegan Gains for anything remotely resembling reasonable advice on any topic is an absolute fool. And that's Darwin in action. Great to see me. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to see you too. I am reporting to Ted currently. Yes, good. Bye. Opinions on honey in smaller amounts. What for? It's great topically for injuries. Antibacterial it is. Good stuff for that. But to consume it, why? Sugar. Why would you want to consume sugar? Right. No, we don't. The debate was bad and Vegan Gains is delusional. Yes. We know he's delusional. Vegan Gains lost it. Did he? 139 watching only. 35 likes. Well, that's not very good. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Beer is very high in sugar. Yes, some beers are, and I've been known to drink beer. However, what I personally do has no impact whatsoever on what it is ideal for any given person to do. And what I espouse is that what any given person should do, ideally, is the best thing for that person to do, which doesn't include drinking beer. Okay, so it's do as I say, not as I do. I'm the science, me, safe and effective. Trust me, don't question the science. Question, what do you think of methylene blue to add to a carnivore and cerule while on carnivore? I wouldn't do that, personally. There are 1 or 2 indications out there for a methylene blue protocol, but it's not just a generally, you should just do this thing. No, bad idea. I would not suggest that. You enjoy being a vegetarian. It's fun. Okay, well, you do you. Lowest protein should be during body fat loss phase. Well, if you need to do a body fat loss phase, you probably need to look at your diet chronically because you shouldn't be gaining body fat. Should you? Should you indeed? No. I am appreciated. Thank you, scuba dude. Scuba dude. One question, yes. What would be the best way to convince my family that the carnivore diet is good? They believe in normal mainstream nutrition and think carnivore sounds crazy. Right, here's the thing. Other than live the life yourself, set the example and be as healthy as a healthy thing, which is likely if you follow the correct diet and 4 other health hacks, all 5, all of them, there isn't a damn thing that you can say that will convince your family of a damn thing. Why not? Because they know you. They've known you your whole life. They've seen you at your worst. You have no credibility with your family. I have no credibility with my family, despite my knowledge, credentials, everything I've achieved, etc. They have to decide for themselves based on seeing what they can see. Okay? While we love our families and we want the best for our families, you cannot exert control over your family to make them believe something they don't want to believe. All you can do is signpost it and point in the right direction. I hope that's clear. It's not what you might want to hear, but that's how it is, I think. Right. Question, that'll be the last one from me. How did you find BTC and your reasons? Why do you believe it's the future? And how the world will adapt to the fall of the fiat regime. Have a good one. It's something that I've been kind of keeping a bit of an eye on for quite some time. I really got to it very, very slowly, like most things. And went, okay, let's look into this in full. Let's look at the reasons behind what the pundits who seem to know what they're talking about are saying about this thing. It all made sense. It all stacked up to me. And as such, I felt that it was a rational position to place about 5% of my fluid equity into a Bitcoin exposure, which what I have is an amount of Bitcoin, which I am self-custodying in such a way as that I am immune to even wrench attack because I can't actually get those coins out by myself without the help of somebody else. who doesn't even live here. Okay? So if you want to wrench attack me, bring it on. You won't get a single sat. There is no way that can happen. You would have to send simultaneously several other attackers out to several other sites with wrenches as well. Once you find out who those people are, which I'm not going to tell you, no chance. So forget about that. That's why it's safe for me to say I hold some Bitcoin. Yes, I do. And I believe that it's the future because of the way the thing is designed. It is designed to be deflationary. It is a long-term position. It's not a 5-minute thing. And I understand that Bitcoin does not have a price. It has an exchange rate. And the exchange rate to fiat is completely irrelevant. Except that if it goes down, diggy down, that's good because it means I can purchase more if I've got the spare cash that month to do so. If it goes up, well, fabulous, but who cares? Because at the end of the day, the fiat monetary system will fail at some point completely. It will break down. And as such, there will need to be a means of exchange. And I believe, for a number of reasons, that the electronic, online, immutable, blockchain, proof of work system is the one that will be the one that survives. There it is. I'll probably do more about that in time to come. Hang on just a sec. Hello, Auntie Pim.
Are you busy?
Yeah, just doing a live stream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering if I needed a credit card if I'm buying feed or if I can just do the normal thing.
Do it the normal way for now and we'll sort that out for the start of the next month.
Okay.
Good, all right. Auntie Pim says hello.
Yes, hello.
You may have heard her saying yes, hello. And now she's off to buy feed. Awesome. All right. Questions. More questions. Right. Is it better to cheat on the diet with fruit or potato chips or beer? Well, it's best not to cheat at all. It depends on how much of any of those things and or the mixture of those things and or all sorts of things as to which is better. Gram for gram, fully hydrated fruit is possibly less immediately damaging than the same weight of potato chips, for example. If nothing else, because of the carbohydrate content per gram of the thing. Anyway, there it is. Question. So just the one Q, Joe, just one. Will a 3 days fast be enough to jumpstart me to get me into ketosis? Why do you want to get into ketosis? It's been a while, but the last month I went super low carb and cut out all sugar stuff. Okay, Joe, we need to talk in the background. Why on earth would you want to be in ketosis? What's that about? Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Richard, aka Fully Laden Swallow. Okay. Thank you, Richard, aka Fully Laden Swallow. Thank you for the $10. Yes. All right. Question. Carnivore for 12 months. Good. Blood test says I'm low in iron and folate. Why would this be? Low, according to whom, on the basis of what? How do you feel? Okay. Are there any issues with having too much protein daily that can negatively impact the kidneys? No, that's rubbish. Anything can be toxic in a high enough intake, but you'd have to be taking in more protein than a person physically could, assuming that your kidneys are functioning normally in the first place, for that to be a problem. If you have existing kidney disease for any reason, then obviously that advice doesn't apply to you. So you'll get slightly different advice. Do you have kidney disease? I don't know. Hello from London. Hello, I've been to that London. I didn't like it much. I left. I was only there for a couple of day visits. When I used to live in UK. Next question. Would you say that anybody who attempts to refute carnivore being optimal after seeing N15 testing results in the fossil records can never claim to believe in Darwinism ever again? Yes, that would be fair. Just the one Q, thanks Joe. I always heard carnivore can help with swollen prostate. What is your opinion? Carnivore can help with all sorts of things, but we shouldn't necessarily say it will. Thank you. I appreciate you. Pleasure, if that was for me. Why does egg yolk poofer cause damage like seed oil? Does anybody know? Does it? According to whom? On the basis of what? Hello from Wales. Hello! I've been to Wales too. I remember spending a lovely week in a place called Trofinins, I think it was. Very nice, it was. Stayed in a wood cabin on a place that had wood cabins for rent for the week by a lake. Trofinins with 2 Ds at the end, if that rings a bell. Anyway, hello. Love Wales. I also went to the Doctor Who exhibit. That was cool. Right. Do you have any eggs or organs? Yes, I do eat duck eggs and chicken eggs because we have ducks and chickens. Organs, not for me, thanks, no. Other than meat, which is an organ. Muscles are an organ. I think you mean the enteric organs. No. Brains, no, not so much. Right. Thanks for your reply. You're welcome. Yeah, planning to try the IBO thing in the near future after trying out Cerule for 2 to 3 months. You can do that, absolutely. A lot of people do that. They try the product for 2 or 3 months. They go, yes, it is what it says it is. Yes, it's fantastic. I feel great. Yes, I feel like I could promote that. But why wait? Just do it on faith. Trust me, I'm the science. I'm safe and effective. Just get started. $75, you're an IBO. You can set up 3 customers that day if you want to. ABC, auntie, brother, cousin. Probably not them because they know you. Then you get going for free, and you'll start getting a little bit of pin money. It's all good. What happens when the nefarious take control of the government? Well, you've seen what happens when that occurs. It happened between 2020 and 2022-ish. That's what happens. In some countries, some of that has been wrested back. Some of that's been dealt with. Most of it hasn't. Things are better now than they were then, but not perfect still by a long stretch. And in other parts of the world, it's just continuing to get worse. That's what happens. There's a reason that in the US there is an amendment. It's the second one that says that the general populace have the right to bear arms. And that is a cross-check and a cross-balance against nefariousness, I should say. Nefariority. Is that even a word? I just made that up, didn't I? Do you know much about renal tubular acidosis? I do. My nephrologist says carnivore diet is fine, but says to limit salt. What do you think? It really depends on your individual situation. I would need to talk to you in the background to get to what the issue is for you in particular and whether or not that advice would be something that I would support personally or otherwise. The government are the violent gang. Yes, they can be, as I've just said. Yes. However, if we keep the government at the size it should be, small, and we keep the police force and the defence force separate, then any time the police force gets out of hand, we can deal with them with the defence force. The defence force shouldn't be a branch of government. Okay? Right. As I say, there are no absolutely correct answers on any of that stuff. These are just my opinions. And nothing is perfect, and everything is... It is possible for every system that you could put in place to go to custard. It can. Absolutely. Right. Have you heard from UK Alex? I have not. I don't know what Alex is up to, where he is, whether he's still with us. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard a thing. All right. Just the one Q, Uncle Charlie. Just the one. I cold plunged 32 degrees, I presume that means Fahrenheit, 3 minutes, great for prostate, was 325 pounds, now 180. A1C was 18, now 5. Well, those are good results, all of those. Congratulations on all of them. Good work, you. It was hilarious. I presume you mean Richard Burgess getting dealt with once again by someone who knows more than he does, which is absolutely everybody on the planet, just about. Face IQ brought me to you. Very good. He says you have nailed nutrition. Yes, I have. Let me know your thoughts on him. I believe that a lot of what he has to say is in line with what I have to say, and I believe that's because he credits me with educating him by remote control. He watched a lot of my stuff and it made sense to him, and he's appropriated a lot of those things. I haven't spoken to the boy face to face because, as I said, he continues to ignore my overtures. So, Face IQ, we're still waiting. We are still here! Anytime you like. Anytime at all, really. I heard grounding pads are not good if lightning storm hits. Could be a problem. Unlikely, because if anything, the voltage of a lightning strike would burn out the cable almost instantaneously, thus breaking that electrical connection. I mean, this farm here is surrounded by and broken up by a series of fences that have electrical wires. And they are designed to work in such a way as that the fence will dish out a large voltage to any animal or person who comes in contact with that fence, but for a very short period of time before the voltage drops immediately. Thus, it gives that person a hell of a jolt, or that animal a hell of a jolt, but does no damage physically because it's a very brief exposure. Same thing. Yes, exactly. That's why I keep saying to him, let's do it. Let's do it. Vegan. Yes. Sup to you. Did you watch? No, I didn't watch I didn't watch it. I don't have time mostly to watch much of what anybody else is doing. Sounds like I need to have a look at it at some point. Great entertainment. Only about 30 minutes though. All right. Good. Is it a bad idea to go from a dry fast to a water fast and then straight back to a dry fast? For many people, that might not be a very great thing. Others will get away with it. The opinion I would give any individual person would be based on who they are, where they're at, their background, what's immediately been going on, etc. Yeah. Nope, the Randall cycle does not prove any such thing at all. No. Why would it? What you need to understand is everything that I said yesterday, well, I said it a few days before that, but what was said on my channel yesterday in the interview where all of this was covered that I did with Antonio Crochet, which you can watch on my channel in English, and when he gets around to it, he's going to post it on his channel in Portuguese. So, you know, whatever your poison is in terms of language, it's all covered there, the Randall cycle. Plus, you can watch my whole channel of videos, my category of videos about the Randall cycle on my channel. My playlist, that's the word I'm looking for. Uncle Harry Louse, King of Tasmania. Hello, Harry, good to see you, mate. I've been twiddling the knobs, and I'm going to go back down there. Bye. Good boy. You twiddle the knobs, right? Patty says, I got my husband on board with carnivore. Good for you. Just by getting healthier after decades of decline. Yep, that's how you do it. That's it. And she says, hi, Harry. Very good. Quiction, that Aussie cyclist guy that you had a debate with 6 years ago looks healthy as fuck now, lol. No, he doesn't, and I know that you're being sarcastic. Man, Harley, you look like shit, son. You really look absolutely fucked. As I did warn you, by the way. I said to you, my boy, I said, Harley, you just keep doing what you're doing, son, and you will pay the price for it. And now it's obvious. It's written all over him. Just like the same thing that happened to Paul Sellard. I don't know who Bart K is or anything else. Absolutely incredible. And for those that don't know who we're talking about douchebag Durian Rider. Absolute turd. And alleged sex offender. Alleged. Right. Hello, Harry. Hello, Harry. Hello, Harry. Hello, Harry. Let's sing the Hello, Harry song. No singing. Yes, forgot the cue. That's probably why it didn't get seen. Cue. Well, what is your cue? Where are the quictions? Here's a quiction. How do you like your meat? Whole piece? Yes, I like my meat in one piece. Thank you. Or ground up? No, I don't like my meat ground up. Goodness gracious, no. Ground beef? Fine. But my meat? No. I tend to prefer ground, not to lose time chewing. Chewing is part of the process, but not on my meat. Goodness. The Attack Titan? Attack Titan? Titan. Yeah. All right. My prediction, all other assets will eventually go to zero against Bitcoin. Yes. That's a bit down the track, though. Harry says hello to everybody and everybody that he didn't list there. I'm just going to take it upon myself to say hello from Harry to everybody. Right. Okay. She's gone now, Harry. She's off to buy feed. Never try to convince anyone of anything. Okay. Yep. If you want people around you to change, show. Yeah. Example. Absolute fucking nonsense. No, it isn't. Not at all. It's anti-fiat. It's the exact opposite of being fiat. Go back to class, start again, do the work, because you've missed the point entirely. You've got it completely wrong there. Absolutely, completely wrong. Goodness gracious. I heard you say pizza is one of the worst things that you can eat. Can you say why? Fats and carbs mixed together, a bunch of carbs, gluten. Sometimes I put fruit on pizza too, like pineapple. Yeah, not good stuff. For someone eating mostly carnivore, yeah, 95%. What additionally might genuinely move the needle for long-term cognitive performance? 5 health hacks covered on my channel in a video called 5 health hacks you need to know, where on the thumbnail I'm doing that so you can see there are indeed 5, and so you can see the palm of my hand, which makes me trustworthy, I'm told. What actually makes me trustworthy is I'm the science. Safe and effective. That's why you should trust me and never question the science, even though that's how you do science. All right. Don't come late to class, boys and girls. Bye. Right. Can't do a thing with them. Proof of ketosis? Question mark. I thought that was a sign of being fat adapted. Nope. Ketosis is a sign that you are making ketones because your body needs them at that time based on your metabolic state at that time. Wales is beautiful, Angela. You really should go to Wales. If you're going to go and have a look at some places around the world, Wales would be a place I'd go. I'm also into castles. Big stone castles, love them. So there are a dime a dozen in Wales too. I went to a castle there. Any of them. Right. That's what Angela did. She signed up straight away. Yes, that's what you should do. She's talking about Sorul being an IBO and get 3 customers, put them on a wellness pack, then yours is free. Everybody should do that today. Or at least start working on it. What do I think of green tea and coffee for blood flow and caffeine? Plus or minus? FAFO, your mileage will vary. Find out what works for you. There's no place in the diet necessarily for any of those things as a necessity. None of them are a necessity. They're all things that are, plus or minus extraneata. Hello, cheesy mate. Hello, cheese. What do you think of... Don't repeat your questions. You know the rules. You've been here long enough to know your rules. Goodness gracious. So thoughts on C15 fatty acid? It's a fatty acid. It may be useful, it may be not. I'm not convinced. I haven't seen anything that would absolutely convince me of anything in that regard. Just eat fatty meat. Salt water. Rinse and repeat, really. And take Sorul products. And do the other 3 health hacks. What do I think about ISO 20022? I don't even know what that is. Should I? Tell me what that is. Do you eat seafood? Occasionally. I'm not huge on it, but absolutely. I love a bit of seafood now and then. I love mussels. Of course, there's only 2 things that look like mussels, isn't there? One of which is mussels. We had some mussels at the cricket last week. Not yesterday, the week before. We also had a nice crayfish. Awesome it was. Yeah, right. Don't forget to put the Q in front of your questions, otherwise Ted might miss them. Have you heard of Malcolm Bendall's thunderstorm generator? No, I haven't. If not, it's something you should look into. Okay, a retrofit could double the fuel efficiency of any equipment you use on your farm. All right, if you say so. Good day. Good day, mate. How you doing? Good day. How many of your own cows do you consume per year between you and your household? Thank you in advance. We've been on this farm now for about 16 or 17 months. We are yet to eat any of our own cows yet. We have eaten a sheep. She was tasty. Lovely she was. We've eaten a number of birds that we hatched and reared and grew up here. And one or two imports as well. That lived here for a bit and that we fattened up and got to ready for the table and such. There are members of the extended family that live here on the farm that are not carnivores, and so we also have a produce garden that produces producing, yeah, you know what I mean. Green stuff and red stuff and yellow stuff. Planty bits that some people like to eat. It's been good. Roid raged, yes. Full on roid rage, yep. Do cereal capsules spike insulin at all? Not to my knowledge whatsoever. I have never seen any evidence that they do anything of the sort at all. No. They don't contain anything that would be likely to cause that either, I don't think. Also, are there carbs in collagen active? That depends very much on which marketplace you're in. In some places there's sugar, in other places there is sweetener, and in other places there's a mixture. The formulation is slightly different from country and territory to country and territory. The good news for New Zealand and Australia, folks, is that there is a new formulation of the collagen active that will be coming up at some point, I'm told, which is better than the current one in a number of ways. That's awesome news. Stick around for that. Blah, 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 blah. What's next? Are you late? You know what happens when you're late, Dean. Don't be late to class. Ted knows. Ted sees all, don't you, Ted? Yes. Ted sees all. Are tanning beds okay for skin health if used appropriately and correctly? There's no reason to suspect not. Doesn't even understand how to interpret research or statistics. I presume you mean Richard Burgess. Vagina stains. Vagina pains? Richard Burgess. Yeah. Hello from Poland. Hello. Hello from Pimbatia, the independent sovereign nation, nestled somewhere within the communist state of New Zealand. What are your thoughts on hyperbaric oxygen therapy for inflammation? It can be useful, case by case. Again, it depends on what's going on and what needs to be going on. Carnivore has helped tons after 3 years. Good, but hasn't fully resolved. Yeah, I don't think carnivore is the full answer. I think that's most of the answer. That's why I've got 5 health hacks and not just one. 5 of them. Go and check them out on my video, 5 health hacks. And do all 5. Not negotiable, any of them. I wish they were. They're not. Yes. Is it advised not to take cereal if taking 5 milligrams epi... Blah, 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 blah. Okay, there are no known interactions between cereal and any prescription medication except for blood thinners slightly. Because Stem Enhanced Ultra naturally contains a small amount of vitamin K, it can work against some blood thinners from time to time. All you need to do is let your medical provider know that you are taking cereal, not can I take this. Tell them you are doing it, and they need to adjust the blood thinner prescription appropriately for that, if they need to, if they even think it's necessary. It's a very minor effect. There are no other known interactions between cereal products and any other prescription med other than that. £4, not £4, yes, £4.99. Thank you very much. for the £4.99 sterling. Does cheese omelette with pepperoni, ham, sausages, and mushrooms fairly along fading some... What? What? I don't even know what your question is. I'm sorry. Try again. For free, if you like. I just don't know what you're asking. Sorry. But thank you for the pounds. Yes. Pineapple on my barbecue meat lovers pizza. Some people think that pineapple shouldn't go on a pizza. We can't be friends. Pim's one of those. Never mind. We can be friends. Yes. Yes. So Trump's attacking Iran, is he? Okay. Yep. He was kind of warning that that was likely for some time. Yes. Wouldn't taurine help blood flow to a degree? That is possible, Robert. If you say so, melted cheese. Yes, they do. Potato chips have toxic aldehydes. Yes, yes. Currently, says Harry Louse, King of Tasmania, BTC has stopped acting like gold and silver. Yep. But that is because BlackRock and others are selling. Yes. Also, paper BTC, gold and silver selling can drop the price. Yep. But long-term paper losses. Yeah. Those that understand the crypto thing at all will understand that, as I said earlier, BTC, Bitcoin, that is, does not have a price. It has an exchange rate, which is variable over time. Yes. It is a volatile asset with respect to its value versus fiat money at any given time. Yes, that is not the point at all. Okay? The point is that eventually BTC will be the means of exchange. Fiat money will no longer exist at some point. Whether that's in our lifetime or not, who knows? But if you are interested in holding any amount of BTC, Bitcoin that is, as an investment in your future, as a hedge against the possibility of having power and control taken away from you entirely, I would suggest that it's rational to put about a 5% positioning into Bitcoin, self-custody, only self-custody, real Bitcoin only, okay, not tokens, not paper BTC, not ETFs, actual Bitcoin that you purchase and remove from the exchange you purchased it from and self-custody it in your own cold wallet. That would be a rational thing to do. And hold it for not less than 5 years before you even think about whether you want to use any of that to leverage to get access to any amount of fiat. And if you do want to use it to access fiat, you should do that by borrowing the fiat against the Bitcoin, not by selling the Bitcoin. Ever. Okay? And if you want to send me some Bitcoin to thank me for my efforts, that's the place there that you can send me some Bitcoin to. And if you do send me some Bitcoin, please immediately buy yourself the same amount of Bitcoin that you sent me immediately. Okay, otherwise you'll end up like the pizza guy. If you don't know that story, there's a guy that bought 2 pizzas using Bitcoin a few years back when Bitcoin wasn't worth anything. In today's Bitcoin exchange rate, that's cost him something like between 3 and 500 million US dollars. So don't do that. All right. Yeah, what about it? What is something I believe today that I would never have believed 10 years ago? That the general public of this country and many other countries could possibly be as fucking stupid as they are, could be as spineless, as weak, as limp as they've been, could be as lacking in intestinal fortitude and testicular fortitude and any other form of fortitude, could be so destitute as to fail to stand up, look evil nonsense square in the eye and say, no way, not on my watch, not today, off you fuck. No. I would not have believed that 10 years ago. If someone had said to me 10 years ago that the world would be in the state that it's in today based on the way that people behave, I would not have believed you. I would have said, no, there are enough people in the world who will not accept that will stand up. It can't possibly happen. Yet it did, didn't it? Anyway, do you still believe the carnivore diet gives you all the nutrition you need? Yes. I believe it because it's a fact. Facts don't change. Are you pro-milk during puberty for guys? And how much milk is appropriate in your opinion? It's individual. How long is a piece of string? Some people do well on dairy, some people don't. Hey! Been carnivore for over a year. Good for you. And had flaky skin for a while, especially around my nose. Any suggestions? Stick with it. 5 health hacks. Yes. Is running the ranch the best exercise you've had in your life, would you say? I'm not doing a lot of the physical labor around the place. I have staff for that. And Pim also does a lot of the work herself. And we have various family members as well who are here semi-permanently and or permanently who contribute. My main thrust is keeping the show rolling, trying to earn the money to make the thing possible, which you can help with, by the way. Send me all your money. We'll take it. Or buy some raw products, then you win as well. Send me Bitcoins if you've got those, or partial Bitcoins, obviously. You don't send me a whole Bitcoin unless you want to buy yourself another one. That's expensive. I think the best exercise is exercise someone will do. And for me personally, a planned, executed exercise program has always been the best thing. I haven't really been involved in doing that for a number of years, though. I've been rather more waylaid, more stressed out, doing all sorts of other things. It's not a reason not to, by the way. I should still do it. I just haven't. Just for full disclosure. Could oxalates be the reason for psoriasis? Yes, they could, absolutely. Typhoid cheese, omelets, ham, sausages. I'm still not sure what your question is. If your question is, are omelets okay? Sure. Should they necessarily contain a lot of plant material? Ideally not, but you do you. Do plasma flow help reduce inflammation in arteries, endothelium, or just increasing blood flow? That's just the blood flow effect. If you want inflammation support, then take Cyactive. And if you want excess circulating adult stem cells, then take Stem Enhance Ultra. 3 products, 3 different roles. That's why they're sold in a wellness pack, ideally. That's what you all need, every one of you. And don't pay for it, please. Make sure you're not paying for it. Goodness. Okay, bing. The silver dip was due to paper silver selling, trying to protect their mountains of shorts against silver. Yeah. But the 300 plus or minus difference between paper and physical silver means physical wins in the end. Sure. Except, here's the problem with physical silver. It weighs a lot. It's expensive to transport, even if you didn't have to pay for security. Even just the weight of moving the thing is expensive, impractical. Plus, you do have to pay for security to move it. And thirdly, a physical asset like that, silver, gold, property, whatever, can be taken from you forcibly. If you have some sensible policies around the way in which you hold Bitcoin, it cannot be taken from you by force. Nobody can take it from you. It belongs to you immutably until you pass control of the Bitcoins that you hold or partial Bitcoins that you hold to somebody else voluntarily. That's the difference. Okay? Any thoughts on keto breath? Yes, it's yucky. Did you hear that Israel's wife left him? Doesn't surprise me. What a fucking idiot that boy is. What an absolute imbecile. What an offensive, arrogant, stupid imbecile. Is ashwagandha good for anxiety? I don't know. I've never tried it personally. What brand of grounding sheets and mats do you sign off on? Not so much sign off. I don't have a deal. I don't have any. I can't make any commission or anything from any. I get my grounding gear from a company called Grounded Kiwi, all lowercase, all one word. Grounded Kiwi. .nz. I believe they ship internationally. I don't know. Case by case. That's where I get mine from. Excuse me for my ignorance, for I'm new to this. Good. Okay, fine. Coming off a standard American diet, exactly how would you transition, assuming no prior health issues after a full transition? OMAD 80-20 ground beef. Okay. So for the last bit, yeah, sure, that sounds fine. In terms of the transition, 4 to 6 weeks at least. Take it slowly. Every week, take half the remaining plant and carbohydrate material out of your diet. Basically, start listening to your body in terms of your desire to eat food and drink fluid, with the caveat that food means anything but carbohydrates and plant material. Okay? Right. If you want more specific detail than that, you could pay for a consult, perhaps. Lost my glasses. That's a shame. Does cheese, omelette, pepperoni, ham, mushrooms, also red meat daily get the Bart K approval? Sure. Sure, why not? I wouldn't base your diet on too much processed meats, ideally, but a bit of it here and there is fine. Yeah. I mean, the ideal diet is 80% meat and the fat of ruminant animals, unprocessed. Yeah. ISO 20022 is a new standard for crypto transactions that requires more personal information, so it destroys the entire purpose of the cryptocurrency. It is already used in more than 70 countries. Well, the way around that would be a non-KYC means of purchasing your BTC, wouldn't it? I am not for any method of centralization of finances at all, or monitoring of folks financially at all. No, I'm not for that. I'm a libertarian. Inherently, we believe taxation is theft. We understand that a certain amount of taxation is necessary in order to maintain basic and only basic facilities that a government should provide. Those being a police force that protects our basic liberties and freedoms as well as our property. And that's it, pretty much. Roading and infrastructure, questionable as to whether that should be governmental or not. Yeah, it's a deep rabbit warren, that one. There are no right answers, as I said earlier. Did the pizza guy commit suicide? No, he's done quite well out of it by being interviewed and being paid a lot of money by people to talk about this. And I believe that he's got as much or more Bitcoin now than he had at that time, I think. Yes. Only real Bitcoin, gold, silver people, yes. Only the real stuff. Self-custody. Either way. Whether it's gold or Bitcoin, self-custody. Not your keys, not your coin. Not buried in your yard or something, not your gold. It can be taken from you. And even if it is buried in your yard, if it's a physical asset like gold, it can still be taken from you by force. Bitcoin cannot. Bitcoin wins. What are your beliefs about Jesus? I am agnostic completely. I believe about 2,000 some hundred years ago, there was a bloke running around with the name of Jesus saying he was the Son of God. Yes, whether he was or not, the accuracy of some of the stuff written in the book, Who knows? I wasn't there. I am completely agnostic. Science is still a thing either way. Evolution is still a thing either way. I think the book, the good book, was written by humans, because it was. That's why I think it was written by humans. Okay? Claiming it's the word of God himself, probably a step too far. Right. What grounding sheets and mats do you recommend? I've covered that. We've been lied to on a grand scale for decades. Yes, we have. I am curious when you regularly sleep and wake up. Normally I'm in bed by 9:30, usually asleep by 9:45 or 10 o'clock. Usually wake up of my own accord around 6:30. That's me. Slightly different times at different times of the year perhaps, but there we go. Does bone broth actually have any of the so-called benefits that so many people influence claim it does? Your experience is just that, your experience. People vary widely on how they respond to all sorts of things. If there is any problem with bone broth, it's in bone broth that's made from bones that are poorly sourced from animals that contain a lot of heavy metals that leach into the bone broth. Not so good. Is there any requirement for bone broth in the diet? Nope. You can get everything you need from the red meat of ruminant animals and the associated fat. Still, nothing else is required. Quiction. Can you do another vid on SAT sometime? Sure. Yep. Are we going to set our nation in India? Set your nation in India? I don't know what you mean. Started accumulating money to buy land, okay? I gathered some like-minded people with me, so we're going to buy land together. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying you're going to buy some land and make it an independent sovereign nation like Pimbatia claims to be? Even though it really isn't. I still have to pay my taxes, and I'm still subject to New Zealand law and Ted's law as well. I had some issues drinking raw milk. Good for you. Quit it for a week and feel way less. Okay, well, that's the answer for you. Good. I work construction. Is that enough exercise? Depends. How active are you during the workday? On carnivore, I do not put on weight. You mean fat? I have good mobility and I'm strong. Good for you. Keep doing that then. It sounds like it doesn't need fixing. Ammo is a much better investment than gold or silver if you live in the US. Perhaps it is. Yeah, no, not a genius. An absolute fucking imbecile, as Mike Israel. In fact, I would suggest he would struggle to get much beyond 3 figures IQ, let alone having a genius level IQ. He's an absolute buffhead. Yeah. If oxalates are the reason for my psoriasis, then should I eat dairy or not? Those two things are completely unconnected. Doesn't dairy help to remove the oxalates? Not necessarily, no. Why would it? I don't like mushrooms, no. They're horrible. They're fungus. They're slimy. They're yucky. How do you get potassium and electrolytes? From the ruminant meat and associated fat of animals. Still, the potassium electrolytes don't come from the fat, obviously, portion of that. They come from the meat portion of that. And there's the answer there. Very good. Are we all just a unified energy field? Yes. It seems. Do you think you should add anything to your list of 5 hacks? Well, when somebody comes to me with something that would supplant or displace any of the top 5, then yes. However, I'm going to maintain a 5 things list because I think 5 things are enough for one person to keep a track of, and if those 5 things take care of 95+% of all sorts of problems, then there's no reason to add anything, and I wouldn't. Case by case, some people get suggestions beyond the 5 depending on their situation for things that would be useful to them specifically, probably, but for the general person, no. Where do you go for a one-on-one consult with me? bit.ly /Bart-KAY. From there, you'll find a link to Patreon, where you can join up on a monthly subscription for $1, $2, or $500 US a month, depending on how many people are in each tier. It's the same product, by the way. It's 2 sessions of 1 hour a week, of 1 hour a month, as long as you are registered and continue to be registered as a subscription member. Cancel whenever you feel like you've got enough, and that's that, pretty much. That's where you go. That's what you do. Yes. I failed the carnivore diet. That's impossible. As a result of lack of sleep, high CRP, high cortisol, I have eaten 1 bolus of protein once a day. Despite manipulating the fat ratio, I still lost. Lost what? Don't know what you're talking about. Tim Noakes says low carb is not only better for running, but also for gym. Is that true? Yes, it is. He claims he got a study for that claim. I'm sure he does. And studies don't prove a damn thing anyway. Studies are universally, absolutely fucking appalling, pseudoscientific, sloppy garbage. Did you know that Australia has some of the highest rates of alpha-gal? I did not know that. Yes. How many tablespoons of salt should I be consuming a day? That depends on your situation. Yep. Yes, I love Red Dwarf too. Sad to hear that one of the co-creators of Red Dwarf has died overnight. My time. There you go. Yes. How long's a piece of string? Your mileage will vary. How much salt do you need? Depends on what's going on. Yes. Nothing is really secure, not even BTC. If the networks are affected, solar flare or quantum hacking, sure. Okay, either of those are a pretty small risk. Nothing is 100% secure. Sure. Absolutely. What are your fat sources? Normally, lamb, fat, butter, tallow. That's about it for me, mostly. What's your typical day of eating? Depends from day to day. What I suggest any given person should do is that 80% of days they should eat nothing but the muscle meat of large ruminant animals and the associated fat therefrom, plus or minus butter, plus or minus salt, plus or minus eggs and dairy. So, yes. But seriously, as a libertarian, yes. Oh God, you thunderstorm generator. Got anything else that you want to talk about today? All right. Does having a sheet over the grinding mat reduce the effect? It seems not, because it works through body moisture, which connects you electrically right through your bed sheet. Yes. Yes, absolutely, Harry. Any given person should have essential supplies around them ready for their Cocoa Pops. Yep. If someone isn't 100% carnivore, say maybe 90%, is there still health benefits and health problems, or health problems? Yes, both. There are benefits, and yes, there are still health problems. Even people on 100% can still experience health problems, because it's not the whole answer. 5 health hacks seem to be, mostly. Yes, ski and duck fat are nice as well. All right, looks like we're at the bottom of the chat. Good stuff. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you all. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the financial contributions, those of you that did contribute financially. Seriously on the Cerule products, boys and girls, if you're not on Cerule, get on it today. Oh, but I don't have any health concerns. Well, how long do you want that to continue? Okay, get on Cerule products, don't pay for them. How do you do that? Become an IBO, independent business owner in the Cerule business. Do that by going to my link, which is at the bottom of the screen right now on the ticker tape, bakaynutrition.cerule.com. There it is, going past the middle of the screen right now. Become an IBO, costs you $75 or equivalent, whatever country you're in. get yourself a wellness pack of Stem Enhance Ultra, Cyactive, and Plasma Flow. Put that on subscribe and save. Go out and tell 20 or 30 people you've done that. Tell them what it is: a stem cell release agent, an anti-inflammatory, and a blood flow agent. They'll get excited, probably. They'll want more information. Send them to your site, which you'll get as an IBO. Tell them that they want to buy a wellness pack on subscribe and save. And when you've got 3 of those, yours is free. Do that. Start working on that today. Do the first bit of it today. Anyway, sign yourself up as an IBO and get your wellness pack on order. There it is. Okay. Also, if you want to follow Ted on the X platform, you can. That's also linked at the bottom of the screen on the ticker tape there. HRH_Ted is where you go. Be warned, he does like to say naughty words a lot. Many very, very short words. 4-letter ones, some of them ending in T. Often. I can't help him. I can't help it. I can't do a thing with him, is what I mean. He's his own bear, he does his own thing. And for goodness sake, respect his identity. Ted is not me and I'm not Ted. Okay? Good. All right. Thanks for being here. Will Cerebral Products fix the swollen prostate? We are not allowed to make any specific therapeutic claim, Joe, of any kind. However, Cyactive is an anti-inflammatory. You do the math. Adult stem cells do work against inflammation in the body. You do the math. Okay? Right. Thanks for all being here. Go and get yourself signed up as a Cerebral IBO right now. For goodness sake. Do it right now. Get yourself a wellness pack on subscribe and save. Start talking to people about it. Get 3 customers of your own that you introduce. Yours is free. Right. There it is. Okay, I'm not even going to sing the song because, well, I haven't sorted out the technicalities here in this new room that I'm in. Next week, we'll be back to normal with all the bullshit and all the effects and everything. Okay? So stick around for that. Oh, also, you may send me some sats. There. Sats stand for Satoshis. They're partial Bitcoins. Okay? All right. See you next week. I'll see you before next week. I'll see you tomorrow. Q&A session tomorrow with young Lisa, the schoolgirl, who knows more about science and nutrition than some PhDs, like Mike Israel, for example, or Lame Norton. She knows more than he does. Well worth a look. We're trying to give her a chance. We're trying to cross-pollinate. I think, I wouldn't have offered her the opportunity if I wasn't fully confident that she can handle it. So tomorrow, questions and answers with young Lisa. Be here. And then obviously we've got our Tuesday, Wednesday, depending where you are in the world, we've got our Unacceptable Views session with Coach Stephen coming up. And that'll be unacceptable as usual. Will there be many views? We hope there are many views. Make it so. Share the word. Share the love. Make it all happen. See you next week. Don't do anything I would. Trust me on that. In the meantime, everybody say bye-bye nicely. Bye-bye nicely. Thanks for your input, Ted. All right, see ya. Ciao.